Well, good afternoon, First Baptist. I'm Pastor Matt, and I'm standing here in our sanctuary, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour of our church. And that may seem weird because you're like, I've been to First Baptist many times. I don't really need a tour. But I want to show you just how we're getting ready for this upcoming Sunday as we have our first Sunday of regathering. And I know many of you are going to continue to worship from home in the season. And as we've talked before, we are behind you. We're caring for you. We love you. We'll miss you. And we encourage you to experience God's freedom, the freedom that we have in Christ to worship from home in this upcoming season until you feel like you are comfortable and ready to come back and to worship with us. But for those of you who are worshiping, or for those of you who may be on the fence, I just wanted to show you how we're setting up, just so you know what to expect when you come here, and we can be ready and focused on worshiping God once we do. And so the first thing, I'm just going to turn around here. So this is our main entrance. We are going to have all of these doors open if it's nice out, or some people at the doors opening the doors for you as you come in, so that way we're not having a whole bunch of people standing there and opening the doors and increasing contact. We have our main table here in our welcome center. We have some hand sanitizer there. You may notice that we do not have bulletins. So our bulletins, as you're going to see here in a little bit, are going to be in our sanctuary at the seats. And so we'll encourage you just to find a seat, to select a bulletin near where you are. And that way we're not having a stack of bulletins that people are grabbing and increasing contact. Over here we have our welcome center. There again, some hand sanitizer, some disinfectant wipes over there just in case you want to bring a guest with you. That would be great for this upcoming Sunday. I'm going to walk over here and apologize already on this tour that I do not own a selfie stick. So this would be a great time to have one. I do not own one. The other thing is I have really short arms too, so that works against me as well. But over here, I just want to show you our ministry resource room. Many of you have been in here before. But the main thing I want to point out is along this back wall over here, this table, is where our new monthly prayer guides are going to be. So as you guys look at our new bulletin, you're going to see that a lot of prayer requests we used to have on the back of the bulletin are no longer there, but they've been moved to the monthly prayer guide. And so we encourage you to grab those. For those of you who are worshiping at home, we're also going to email that out this weekend for you. And so encouraging you to be praying for those requests. The other thing back here, figure out the direction here. Back on this bulletin board over here, you may see some white sheets of paper. I don't want to zoom in too closely because then you'll start seeing names of people in our church. We don't want to give some of that information away just in case you don't want it to. But back there is our ministry schedules. And so if you serve as a greeter, welcome team, kids ministry, usher, security, all those various positions on a Sunday, you may have been relying on the back of your bulletin to remind you if you're serving or not. And all of that ministry information is going to be there. And so if you're wondering when you arrive here, obviously you should be getting a notification throughout the week that you're serving. But if you forget and you arrive here, you can always check that out. All right? We're going to continue down the hall here. Once again, apologize in advance for those of you who may have motion sickness or anything like that. These doors are to our bathrooms. We're going to open the exterior door for you, and so there's just one door for you to open. We have reminders for you to wash your hands while you're in there. We shouldn't need reminders for that, but we have them anyways, and so we encourage you to do that. And then we'll have waste baskets by the exterior door, so that way you can use your paper towel if you want to, open up the door, drop it in the waste basket, and you're good. All right? We are going to move into the sanctuary, and this is the part that's probably going to look the most different for you. But like I said, we're just trying to adhere to the guidelines that we have and make it a great space for you to worship. All right? So I'm going to stand up here on our platform and just do a brief scan here. So you'll notice probably several things in that, and then I'll break it down for you here. So first thing you may notice is that some of the seats have this blue or this yellow or red tape across, maybe green. I'm trying to think what colors we all used. But we are, in order to maintain 6 feet of social distance, we're having to block off every other row. And so I know some of you have your row that you want to sit in, but we encourage you just to move up a row or move back a row in this season, just so we can adhere to the social distance guidelines. And then as you sit with your household, we are encouraging you to maintain 2 seats in between you and the next household. So that way we get 6 feet of space there. The one exception, there are many of you who worship here. You come by yourself to worship here either because your family worships somewhere else. Maybe you're the only one from your family that lives here in Muscatine, or maybe in this upcoming season, the rest of your family will stay home, but you feel comfortable coming here. We don't want anyone that comes to our church to feel alone, to feel like they're just an individual. We want to include them as a part of our body. And so we are encouraging you that if you do see someone sitting all by themselves, to walk up to them, to ask them, would you mind? Do you want to sit with us? Invite them to come sit with you. They may choose not to. Maybe they want to sit by themselves for health reasons and to maintain distance, and that's okay. Respect that. Don't grab their hand and pull them along with you. But we do encourage you to find some of the people that they do long for a community. They do want to be connected to others in our church, and invite them to sit with you. We know that's breaking the rules slightly, but we feel like that's more important, that we include the people here, that we make them feel like they're part of God's family and that we love them and care for them. And so we're encouraging you to do that if you do see some people sitting by themselves. All right? So I'm going to go back up here. The other thing, probably the first thing you guys may notice, is there's a lot of white sheets on the back of our chairs. We did not buy new chairs, so don't worry about that. But on the back of each one of those chairs in the rows that are blocked off are names of the people who have said, we're going to continue to worship at home in this season, maybe for the next week, maybe for the next 2 weeks, maybe for the next month, a couple months, or indefinitely. And so we wrote the names of you and your family on those sheets. And throughout the next several weeks, we'll find ways to care for you. We currently have postcards sitting in front of those seats now, and so we'll encourage those that gather here to write a postcard, to mail it out to you guys and encourage you and support you, let you know that you're loved. We'll find different activities to do throughout the upcoming weeks to care and love for you. But we wanted you to feel like you are actually here as much as possible, which brings me to the next point. If you see like a black dot up in our sound tower right in the middle, that's actually our video camera. So we will be recording the entire service, not just the sermon, but the entire service moving forward. And our hope, provided that technology cooperates, would be that at the end of the service, we would take that file, begin uploading it, and knowing that it's going to be a pretty large file, it may take a couple hours for it to upload, but hopefully by mid to late afternoon that we can have the whole service uploaded to YouTube and to our website for those of you who are worshiping at home to be able to still worship with your family on a Sunday evening or maybe even a late Sunday afternoon. I won't make any promises as to that. And we'll let you know if we had any technical difficulties or that wasn't able to take place. But the one thing I do want to bring to mind is because the camera is up there, we're going to be referring to all of you who are worshiping at home, not as, for those of you who are worshiping at home, but refer to you as the balcony, because your angle view is going to be like you're here, but you're worshiping from the balcony. And so we feel like that'll be a fun way to refer to you, all of you, to make you feel like you're here. I'm not at home. I'm in the balcony. I'm with the rest of my church family. And so if you ever hear us refer to the balcony, that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about our sound tech and the people who run slides, but we're talking about you who are worshiping from home. And so we hope that'll be a fun way for you to worship. Feel free to make t-shirts if you want to, but to have fun with it on your end. But like I said, if you ever hear us refer to people in the balcony, that's you guys. That's you who are going to be worshiping at home. The other thing I wanted to bring to your attention is communion. So we see we have a couple communion tables on each side here. Because it's not a wise idea to pass a communion tray down the aisles or down the rows. We are going to have, during our communion time this upcoming Sunday, we're going to dismiss you by rows and have you come forward, and each one of you grab the cup and the juice. We'll have that stacked one inside the other, and then return to your seats. And then once everyone has come forward and returned to their seats, we'll take communion together. But with that, like I said, we have the different communion tables there. If that makes you feel uncomfortable, if that's too much of a risk for you, maybe the rest of the parts of the service are okay for you, but communion just takes it a little bit too far, please don't feel the pressure to come forward during that time. And a couple options for you. Either you can just choose not to take communion this particular Sunday and wait until the next season. We'll do it once a month as we normally have. And that's, see, wave hi, Carolyn. Carolyn popped into the video over here. Yep, there she is. But yeah, sorry. So feel free to not take communion in this season. The other option that you could do is you could bring something from home. So you can bring some bread or a cracker from home. Maybe you get a juice box or something like that and bring that. And like I said, we won't judge you. We won't make you feel like, maybe you'll get a little bit of judgments if you're sucking up the last bit of juice during the last worship song or something. You may get some funny looks. But like I said, if that makes you feel more comfortable, please feel the freedom to do that. And for those who are worshiping in the balcony, we encourage you to grab bread, to grab juice from the fridge and from your pantry or whatever, and to join us on that part of the service as you're worshiping in this season to take communion with us. All right? I think that's everything for the sanctuary. So for those of you who don't have kids, you can stop the video here. And like I said, we look forward to seeing you potentially on Sunday and come alongside you if you are worshiping from the balcony in this upcoming season. But I'm going to head down the kids wing, and so to show you what options we have available for our families. And so like I said, if you don't have kids, this part will probably be really boring, and so feel free to end the video now. But if you do, hang on here. I want to show you what we have set up to come alongside our families in this upcoming season. So one of the things we want to do is to give you an option. If you do bring your kids here, obviously if they start crying, if they start fussing, if they start running around, we are more than okay with that. We love kids here at First Baptist, and we love our families, and we want them to be in the service as much as possible to worship Jesus and to see worship be modeled week to week. We feel like that's, even though they may not get stuff out of the actual sermon content, or we feel like them seeing parents regularly worshiping is really beneficial. Studies have shown that. And we believe them learning songs and hearing them over and over, hearing prayers being offered and seeing the value of the word being preached, seeing communion, and those things are really important. And so we encourage you, if you feel comfortable as a family, to come here. And like I said, if there gets to be a point to where you just feel really embarrassed because of the fit your child is throwing, feel free to come back here, and we have space for them. And so we have several different kinds of rooms set up. And so I'm just going to quickly walk into a couple of them. So this one here is one of our kids' room. We have 4 set up like this. And so we have a table here with some coloring sheets for you. And you know that we have divider walls. So this is actually set up to be 2 rooms. We have hand sanitizer and disinfectant wipes. All these rooms have been cleaned really thoroughly, but just for your added assurance, we put some of that here. And you may notice a TV screen. So we're going to have, in 4 of these rooms, we're going to have a kids' church program, the one that we've been sending out online, available for you. And so you can watch that with your family. I'm going to go over here. This is our mother's room. So for those of you that have babies, we love babies. And so we have this room set up here for you guys. You can watch the service, continue to watch the service on the screen as you're using this room. And I'll continue down the hall here. This is kind of a hybrid room. So it's a nursery or a family room. So we have some nursery toys over here and over here. We have the coloring pages. And then we have the TV over here that you can watch the service. And so if you have young kids and or if you have like a baby, a toddler, and some younger kids, this would be the good room for you. And here's the other style of room that we have. So this is our nursery. Once again, split up into 2 sections to serve most of our families. So half the toys are on one side, half the toys are on the other. Various things here. And then we also have the TV here, which will have the service in that room. And so, and then I'll just show you, this room is set up much like the first one that I showed you. So this is, we'll end up having a TV in here before all is said and done with the kids' church. And then programming, and then we have coloring sheets and stuff for your kids to do. We will provide colors and crayons in these rooms back here, but if you relied on the crayons at the Welcome Center and some of our Kids Church bulletins, we encourage you to bring stuff from home for your kids to do in the service, just because we felt like having a lot of that stuff would easily transfer germs and stuff as kids reach for colors, as kids reach for kids bulletins, and those things. So like I said, these rooms are available for you. We have instruction sheets, a description here on the wall of what each room is, and just some instructions that you can peel off the wall and take into the room for you. The one thing that we ask is that once you enter one of these rooms, to shut the door behind you. That lets the other families know that that room is in use. And then once you leave, to shut the door again. And that lets families know that room cannot be used. So what we don't want is one family going in one room, leaving halfway during the service because they get their child calmed down or their child's ready to return to the service, and then another family going back in that same room before we've cleaned it. So like I said, hopefully this is a way for us to come alongside you in the season when we can't do Kids Church. We look forward to being able to do that soon. We'll send out some more information on probably Tuesday or Wednesday of this week about when we might be having Kids Church again and what factors are playing into that decision. So like I said, we love your kids. We're trying to come alongside them the best we possibly can in this season. And we look forward to having a lot of our families back in addition to our other members. So that's our tour. Like I said, feel free to reach out to us over the next couple of days if you have questions. We look forward to seeing all of you who will gather with us on Sunday, and we look forward to continue to care and love and reach and help our balcony members worship in this season as well. All right. Love you. Bye.